Matlack on the 0-1. Bobby hits a drive into the gap in the left center field. There she is. Just for a double. Papers flying, everybody standing. A double for Roberto.
18 seasons, 3,000 hits, 12 Golden Glove Awards, 4 battling titles, 1 World Series championship, a career batting average of 317. Each number on that list is a record for a legendary player. But that's not why Roberto Clemente is remembered.
Baseball player. This is something that I think about. The more I think about it, I'm convinced that God wants me to play baseball.
He's remembered for the last night of 1,972. When he had nothing left to prove, he spent New Year's Eve loading an old cargo plane with food and medicine for earthquake survivors in Nicaragua. He sent 3 flights. All 3 were stopped before the supplies reached anyone, so he decided to go himself, believing that if his name was on the plane, no one would dare stop it. But tragedy struck. The plane crashed 2 minutes after takeoff. His body was never found. The numbers tell you what he accomplished. They don't tell you who he was. To know that, you have to go back to Puerto Rico and find a boy with nothing.
He always was proud to be Puerto Rican. I even have to fly from Pittsburgh to Puerto Rico for our children to born here. He didn't want them to born in Pittsburgh. He wanted them to born here where we born.
Roberto Enrique Clemente Walker was born on the 18th of August, 1934, in the barrio of San Anton in the small town of Carolina, Puerto Rico. He was the youngest of 7 children in a household where money was counted by the cent. His father, Melchor, earned 45 cents a day as a foreman on a sugarcane plantation. His mother, Luisa, earned less, doing laundry for other families, rising at 1 in the morning to prepare lunches for plantation workers.
I can't think of any other player that I've ever played with that had that much pride. He was proud to be Puerto Rican. He was proud to be Roberto Clemente.
Years later, Roberto told Pittsburgh broadcaster Sam Nover, "My mother used to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to make lunches for people at the sugarcane plantation. My mother never went to a show. She didn't even know how to dance." He said it without bitterness, with complete quiet admiration. The children worked too. Roberto and his brothers hauled cane alongside their father, loading trucks under the Caribbean sun. The work made them strong. It also taught them something no coach ever could, that effort is not negotiable and that you give what you have every single time because someone who loves you woke before sunrise to make it possible. There was no money for baseball equipment. Roberto practiced by throwing bottle caps, rolled socks, and anything that could be gripped and released against the walls of the family house. Neighbors in San Antonio later recalled that you could always hear him, always throwing, always working that arm.
Clemente was the best human being I ever met and been close to, because I remember when I came to the big league.
He was 14 when a local businessman named Roberto Marine spotted him hitting tin cans with a broomstick. Marine recognized something extraordinary and signed the boy to his rice company softball team. That was the beginning of everything. When Roberto's father, Melchor, attended his first baseball game years later and watched his famous son sprint around the bases after a hit, he turned to Roberto afterward and said, very seriously, that he was sorry. Sorry that Roberto was the one always forced to run while everyone else got to sit down. In the winter of 1953, a Brooklyn Dodgers scout named Al Campanis watched a 19-year-old Puerto Rican play baseball at a tryout in San Juan. Campanis gave him perfect marks in every single category: arm strength, fielding, hitting, speed, accuracy, base running, and power. Every box received an A or an A+. The Brooklyn Dodgers signed Roberto Clemente to a professional contract, and then they did everything in their power to make sure nobody else saw him. Clemente was assigned to the Montreal Royals, the Dodgers' top minor league affiliate. Under the rules of that era, any player who received a signing bonus of more than $4,000 had to remain on the major league roster for his entire first season, or any other team in the league could claim him in an open draft. Clemente had received $10,000. He was exposed, so the Dodgers tried to hide him. They gave him minimal playing time, They buried him in the lineup whenever scouts from other teams might be watching. The reason, Clemente later told the press, was not about baseball development. The Dodgers administration was worried that too many minority players on the field might upset white players and white fans. He said it plainly, "They hid me in Montreal." It was a strategy that failed completely. A Pittsburgh Pirates scout named Clyde Sukeforth happened to watch Clemente during practice and immediately recognized what he was seeing. He sent word back to the Pittsburgh front office with an urgency that was almost uncharacteristic for a man in his profession. He later recalled, "I knew then he would be our first draft choice." He also quietly told the Montreal manager to take good care of the young player and make sure he did not get hurt, knowing that Pittsburgh would be selecting him when the season ended. The Pittsburgh Pirates finished last in the National League that year. That last-place finish gave them the very first pick in the draft. They selected Roberto Clemente for $4,000. The Brooklyn Dodgers lost one of the greatest players in the history of the sport for the price of a used automobile. Does that feel like justice to you, or something else entirely? Leave your answer in the comments below. For the first 14 years of his career, every baseball card sold in America had the wrong name on it, not a nickname. The name Bob Clemente, a name he had never used in his life, printed in ink and handed to children across the country. Every time a reporter called him Bob, he looked them directly in the eye and said, "My name is Roberto Clemente." He said it for years. They kept printing Bob. Reporters wrote his words phonetically in their columns, mocking the sound of his English accent, making him appear uneducated in print. When white players made grammatical errors in English, those errors were quietly corrected before publication. When Clemente spoke, the errors were exaggerated. After Clemente delivered the winning hit in the All-Star Game of 1961, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette ran the headline, "I get heat. I feel good." Clemente told reporters afterward, "I never talk like that. They just want to sell newspapers." Sports writers gave him nicknames in print: the Dusky Flyer, the Lashing Latin, the Chocolate-Colored Islander. Not in anonymous letters, in respected newspapers. Clemente did not go quiet. During spring training in the South, black players were expected to sit on the team bus while white teammates entered restaurants and brought food out to them. Clemente refused and went directly to the Pittsburgh front office, demanding a separate vehicle so that non-white players could eat with dignity. The front office agreed. There was also the afternoon he and his wife Vera walked into a furniture store in Pittsburgh looking to furnish their home. A salesman directed them, without a word of explanation, to the 4th floor. The good furniture was on the 1st. When the salesman realized who they were and rushed back to redirect them downstairs, Roberto and Vera had already walked out the door. He never went back. When Martin Luther King was taken from the world in April of 1968, Clemente called the Pittsburgh front office and told them the season-opening games needed to wait until after the funeral. He had met King personally, had invited him to his home in Puerto Rico, and considered him one of the most important men of their time. The organization agreed. He once said, "I don't believe in color, I believe in people. My mother and father taught me never to hate. I didn't even know about racism when I arrived." The racism found him anyway. He never once stopped fighting it. For 16 years, Pittsburgh knew what Roberto Clemente was. The rest of America did not. The 1960 World Series had already offered proof of how badly he was being overlooked. Clemente hit safely in all 7 games as the Pirates defeated the New York Yankees. When the votes for most valuable player were counted, the award went to a teammate. Clemente told reporters he believed the outcome reflected something beyond baseball. "I think many writers were influenced by their racial feelings," he said. Nobody wanted to hear it in 1960. Pittsburgh was not New York. It was not a major media market. When Clemente threw a baseball from the deepest corner of right field and a runner froze at second base because he simply could not believe any human arm could reach home plate from that distance, the story appeared in the Pittsburgh papers and nowhere else. The 1971 World Series changed everything. The opponent was the Baltimore Orioles, considered one of the most powerful teams in a generation. They had won 101 games. Their pitching staff had 4 pitchers who each won 20 or more games that season, something that had not happened in 50 years. Pittsburgh was the underdog by every measurement available. 6 weeks before the series began, manager Danny Murtaugh sent out a lineup composed entirely of black and Latino players, the first time in the history of either major league that this had ever happened. Asked about it afterward, Murtaugh said, "I put the 9 best athletes out there. The best 9 I had happened to be black." Clemente, at 37 years old, played those 7 games as though he were answering every slight, every mispronounced name, every year of being overlooked. He hit safely in every game. He finished with a batting average of 414, with 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and a triple. Roger Angell of The New Yorker wrote that Clemente performed something close to the level of absolute perfection, as if it were a form of punishment for everyone else on the field. His teammate, Steve Blass, said it more simply. He turned 10-year Major League veterans into 10-year-old fans. After Game 7, when the Pirates had won, Clemente stood before the cameras and said, "I want everybody in the world to know this is the way I play all the time, all season, every season." Then he paused, switched to Spanish, and spoke directly to his mother and father in Puerto Rico, "En el día más grande de mi vida," on the greatest day of my life. He asked for their blessing on national television. Across Puerto Rico, people wept watching that broadcast. On the 30th of September, 1972, in the final regular season game he would ever start, Roberto Clemente stepped to the plate against pitcher John Matlack of the New York Mets. He swung, the ball shot into the gap, and he reached second base standing. Hit number 3,000. Exactly 3,000, not one more. Only 10 players in the entire history of Major League Baseball had reached that number before him. He was the first from Latin America ever to do it. But here is what stays with me. Earlier that year, Clemente had told a journalist, "My 3,000th hit. I have to get it this season." In July, playing through pain, he said it again, "I need my 3,000th this year. I would like to see many fans waving Puerto Rican flags when I get it." Why the urgency? The year before, broadcaster Richie Ashburn had asked him about reaching 3,000. Clemente answered, "You never know if I am alive. You never know because God tells you how long you are going to be here." His wife, Vera, confirmed, years after his passing, that Roberto had told her many times he believed he would die young. His family spoke of recurring dreams in which he watched his own funeral from above. The night of the 31st of December, at least 4 people tried to stop him from boarding that plane. His son, his friend Jose Pagan, a businessman named Colon who warned him the aircraft was unsafe and overloaded, and a stranger at the airport who said the same. Clemente listened to each of them. Then he told Vera, "When your time comes, it comes. And babies are dying. They need these supplies." There was one more person present that night. A young American pitcher named Tom Walker had spent the evening helping Clemente load the cargo. When the work was done, Clemente turned to him and told him to go home. It was New Year's Eve. Walker was young and single. He should go enjoy himself, Clemente said. There was no reason for him to make the trip. Walker went home. A few hours later, he heard the news. He walked onto the runway and into the dark. Have you ever had a feeling you could not explain and still move forward anyway? Share your story in the comments. Roberto Clemente wore the number 21 because his full name, Roberto Clemente Walker, contains exactly 21 letters. Today at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, the right field wall stands exactly 21 feet high, not because of stadium design, because of him. The Baseball Hall of Fame waived its mandatory 5-year waiting period and inducted Clemente in 1973, months after his passing. His teammate Manny Sanguillen dove into the ocean the morning after the crash, refusing to believe his friend was gone. The body was never recovered. In the years that followed, a movement within the Catholic Church began exploring whether Roberto Clemente should be considered for sainthood. A man who died carrying food to strangers, they argued, had already met the standard. Puerto Rico named stadiums, streets, and bridges after him. Pittsburgh renamed the 6th Street Bridge in his honor. The annual award for the player who best embodies character and community service still carries his name today. Ozzie Guillen, one of the great Latino managers in the sport, said it plainly, he is the Jackie Robinson of Latin baseball. None of this was given to him, not one piece of it. He grew up throwing bottle caps at a wall in Carolina. He spent years correcting people who could not print his name correctly. He played his greatest baseball at 37. And on the last night of 1972, he boarded a plane because children were suffering in a place he loved. If you have a chance to help someone and you do not take it, you are wasting your time on this earth. Those were his words. He lived them to the end. Share this video with someone who loves baseball or someone who has never watched a game. This is not really a baseball story. It is a story about what a person can choose to be. Leave a comment with one word that describes Roberto Clemente. I will read every one.